Hello, my name's Donovan. We're going to talk about Zapier today. I was on X and I was reading a post from Troy Tessalone, the automation ace, where he mentions that with Zapier you can now create custom checklists in your interface pages. And this is an example of what you can do is a checklist like this where you have a to-do, a priority, and a box to check when you've completed the task. So I thought we'd cover that today in this video. So the first thing I'm going to do is if we go to the documentation, here it is on Zapier, and I've already gone through this documentation in order to create this video. So I encourage you to read this page if you want to do this yourself, and also use the video that I'm recording here as an adjunct to that. So before we get started though, I actually want to show you, this is the end result. So after I followed the instructions and built it, this is what you're going to end up with is an interface page created in Zapier. And you've got all the elements we just talked about. And if you'll notice, so let's say now, it says now identify animal shelters. So I'm going to click the check. And if I look down here under completed, there it is. Research available dogs is next. Rank favorites is next. So let's say we want to, as the user, we want to change the priority. We can click these three little dots, choose edit, and then we could actually change the text here, change the priority to later, and hit save, and we've updated that. So it's up to you what kind of permissions you want to give the user in order to make changes like that. But I just wanted to show you what's possible. So the next thing is I want to show you before we start building this is on this page I've got Zapier split into in split view. On the left we've got the interface that you just saw. It's called new interface, and on the right we have the table that acts as the back end for that. And as you can see, this is checked because when we were on this page, identify animal shelters is checked. And if we look here, then that's checked as well. So these are reflected in the table itself. And if we look at the interface page, let me click into that. This is what it's going to look like here as we work on it. Okay, so with that in mind, why don't we go ahead and get to work. And before we do that though, there's one thing I want to do is I want to grab a screenshot of this that we can use as a reference should we need it. Okay, so this can float on my screen. I'm just going to put it out of the way for now in case I need it. Okay, so let's go over here and let's start. What I'm going to do is a little bit maybe out of order from the documentation, but I think it makes more sense in my world. So for a table, so I've already got this one. This is for a dog adoption process to match the screenshot that they gave in their documentation. But we're going to build another one in parallel here called cat adoption process. So I'm going to go to tables. It's always slow to load tables for me for some reason. Okay, and I'm going to click on create. I'm just going to create a blank table. I'm going to give it the name cat adoption process. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to start working on this table here. So the first thing is we actually don't need this field here to run a zap. Okay, and then the second thing we're going to do is start renaming these fields and populating them. So for field 1, we're going to change that to do. And field 2, we're going to change that to done. And we're going to change the field type from text to checkbox. Save that. Field 3 we're going to edit. We're going to call this priority, and we're going to change the field type to drop down. Then what we have to do is fill in what do we want in that drop down. So we're going to say now next, and we're going to add one more for later. Okay, now we're going to hit save. Now we've got to do, done, priority, and if we look at our example here, that we're starting to build this form. So the first thing we need to do, or the next thing we need to do, is create the to-dos. So we'll say adopt new best friend, and I think if I hit shift enter, it creates a new record. Rank favorites. Then we'll do research available cats. And the final one will be identify animal shelters. Okay, and then the priority we need to set. So let's just say all of these are, well, maybe later, identify animal shelters. We know that that's first thing we have to do. All right, so we've built a table here called cat adoption process. We've added all the to-dos. We've got a checkbox for done or not, and we've got priority set. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the interface. So on the left side here, I'm going to click on create. I'm going to choose start from scratch. I'm just going to add text here, and I'm going to write adopt a cat. Meow, meow, meow. Okay, so we've got this, and so now the next thing we want to do to incorporate this checklist is we're going to click the plus button to add a component. And we've got all these different options here. We could scroll through, or we could just type check for checklist, because that's what we want to add. Okay, and now Zapier recognizes that we have various tables that we can draw on, and that's one of the reasons why I just created it first, was just makes this step a little easier. So cat adoption process, that's what we want to incorporate here. So I'm going to choose that. Okay, the next thing we need to do is we need to map the fields from the table to the interface. So the task name is going to be to do. The checklist field is going to be done. We're not going to deal with the due date field. Label is priority. And then down below it says choose detail fields. And so you can see that the to do and priority have a check next to them. So I'm going to check done. So we want all three to display, just like we see on the right hand side here. We've got 1, 2, 3 elements. So we want to choose all three. And then what we want to do is we want to rearrange these, because on our diagram here, the done question mark checkbox field is first in the lineup. So then we're going to grab this little handle here and move done up there. So done, to do, and priority. So that's the order that we want. So now what I'm going to do is choose connect data, and then this is where we get to make some decisions about what the user can do, like I showed in the demo earlier. So we want to basically, we can change anything we want here, but the main thing I'm going to do, so we can do like I did in the demo earlier, is I'm going to choose edit, and I'm going to say turn that on, and that gives the user the ability to make edits, like to the priority, or even wording to this form. Okay, so that should be it. And as you can see, this is looking pretty good here. So now we're going to do, we're going to see what does this look like from the user's perspective. So we can click this link here at the top. That opens up a new, this is the actual form, like the link that you would actually share. And let's just see how it works. So identify animal shelters. I'm going to click it. Goes down to completed. That works well. Research available cats. Let's say the user wants to change that to next. Hit save, and it looks good. Okay, so I think with that we've recreated what we wanted to do here. So go ahead and check that out. Let me know in the comments if you create some kind of a checklist interface page in Zapier. I'd love to hear what you're working on. And with that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.